Good evening. Tonight, it's like Christmas Eve for college basketball enthusiasts. The night before Selection Sunday, where 68 teams will be announced on national television to see which teams will be competing for a national championship in the biggest tournament in all of sports. I don't care what anybody says. But all throughout next week, you'll be going through a thought process, myself included. You don't want to be wrong, but you will eventually be wrong. So here are some tips making your bracket or brackets more accurate. Now this is for people that feel like they need some help. They need to learn some historical facts behind the brackets. In fact, the odds of having a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion. You have better odds of winning the lottery, getting struck by lightning. So here are some tips that I provided. Now I can't give out all the tips. I can't reveal my secrets. Not to toot my own horn. But before I get into this, let me announce that tomorrow night I will be making my bracket selection. It will be one of many brackets I fill out, as I join many bracket group games every year, and I destroy everybody in the process. So here's tip number 1. Upsets will happen in the first round, so picking chalk will not work. And for those of you that don't know what picking chalk is, it's basically where you just pick all the higher seeds. There's going to be some upsets in the process. Alright, number 2. There are 3 guarantees in life. Death, taxes, and a double-digit seed makes the Sweet 16. It's happened every single year since I've watched sports. Believe it or not. We saw Syracuse get to the Final Four as a double-digit seed last year. We saw VCU get to the Final Four as an 11 seed. In fact, we're going to talk about that as well later on in the video. We've seen Dayton make it to the Elite as an 11 seed. We've seen Stanford make it to the Sweet 16, including upset against Kansas in round 2, the year where Kansas had Andrew Wiggins. Number 3, a 16 seed has never beaten a 1 seed. Could this be the year it happens? Honestly, here's a little spoiler alert. I don't think so. I feel like if there was a year where a 16 seed could beat a 1 seed, I think it could be one of the years where we see like a mid-major team, not Gonzaga, but a mid-major team being number 1 seed. I mean, I was advised by somebody that if Texas A&M Corpus Christi was able to pull out the Southland Championship, they would have been that 16 seed to beat a 1 seed. Number 4. Only one 15 seed has ever made the Sweet 16, and that was Florida Gulf Coast, who was also known as Dunk City. But Florida Gulf Coast is also going to be in this tournament again this year. Last year they were in it, and they were a 16 seed. They competed with North Carolina really well in the first half of that game. I believe they were only trailing by 1 point at the half in that game last year against North Carolina. But that's when the Tar Heels, that's when they got on their move. Number 5. The most common upsets in the first round are 12/5 and 10/7. Although last year, all 4 number 5 seeds made it out of the first round. Number 6. Have at least one mid-major team in the Sweet 16. We've had plenty of mid-major teams in the Sweet 16 over the years. I mean, just last year we had Gonzaga. 2 years ago, I believe we had Wichita State in there 2 years ago. We had Dayton in there 3 years ago. Who else have we had? We had Florida Gulf Coast in there 1 year, who we just talked about earlier in the podcast. We've had Jordan Mason make the Final Four a couple years ago. as we're going to talk about it again later. We've seen VCU in there. We've seen so many mid-major teams make it the Sweet 16 over the years. And it's bound to happen again this year. We've got teams like Gonzaga and Wichita State that could make a run for the Sweet 16. Number 7. In tournaments when 15 seeds upset 2 seeds, they occur on Fridays. Last we had Middle Tennessee upset Michigan State on a Friday. We had Norfolk State upset Missouri on a Friday. We had Lehigh upset Duke on a Friday. We had Florida Gulf Coast upset Georgetown on a Friday. So watch out potential number 2 seeds in this year's tournament. Number 8, the Bet on Blue tip. 13 of the last 16 tournament champions have had the color blue as one of their team colors. The last team that won the national championship without blue in their team colors, Louisville, back in 2013. The one before that, Syracuse, 2003. Back when they had, you guessed it, Carmelo Anthony. Number 9, the lowest seed to ever win the tournament was an 8 seed. That was Villanova back in 1985, who were also the defending champions in this tournament. And your 10th and final tip, the lowest seed to make the Final Four was 11 seed. We've had VCU in 2011, George Mason in 2006, and LSU in 1986. So those are some big tips on filling out your bracket this year. Whether if this is your 25th straight year doing it, or your first year doing it, or your first time doing it, I'm really happy that, and I'm really honored that you have viewed this video. First, some tips on how to fill out your bracket and win your office pools. Speaking of office pools, I'm having a bracket group. I'll put the link in the description box below. Anyway, I will see you back here tomorrow night for my bracket fill out video. It's going to be a great one. Tell your friends. See you tomorrow night.